Hey, welcome to 521 week 2. So this week there is a lot going on. We just hit the ground running. There's continued talk about assistive technology. The focus this week is talking about reading and communications when we talk about assistive technology. So let's go through what is going to happen this week. If you look at the week 2 Blackboard page, you have this video that you're watching, and then right below me you have tells you about the readings, 3 different chapters. There's short video about assistive technologies and actions. You have that self-paced E lesson. The E stands for electronic. So click through that. That gives you a lot of the basics of assistive technology. It's not particularly exciting to click through, but there's lots of good information on that. This is our first discussion board. So as a reminder, initial posts on Thursday, 2 replies by Sunday, always by midnight. So a couple of different ways to get to the discussion board. On the far left, you can scroll down and underneath the weekly schedule. There's a link to discussion board. There's also a link on the week 2 page. So if you click on that, you can go through it. And you are asked to create a set model, SETT, and fill in the sections thinking about a student. So the idea of the set model is to come to a shared understanding of a student that needs assistive technology. So I will share a link to a Weebly page. It's also just assistedtechnology.weebly.com. So set, SETT. So imagine kind of 4 Venn diagrams intersecting student, environment, tools, and tasks. Actually, I'm looking at the Weebly page, and student twice, but it's student, environment, tools, and tasks. And there's a couple different ways you can look at that visually and organize it. So the idea is to go through all of those things and see what support the student needs. So it's pretty straightforward. Once you read through it, you're like, oh, okay, that totally makes sense. I'm going to link to a page that makes a lot more sense for that. And you're going to be doing that in the discussion forum. So the discussion question DQ is what it's called. So your assignment this week is to select, evaluate, and apply an AT or an assistive technologies rubric. So in this, you are going to evaluate at least 3 different AT tools. There's a couple different links. As always, please read through that Google Doc. And Joy Zabala, you're going to hear again and again. She's the one that developed SET, S-E-T-T, SET. And then you're going to give me a 1-page report talking about the effectiveness of the rubric and kind of how it went. So please also include a copy of that rubric or just a link to that rubric. The easiest way when you are doing these 1-pagers is to open up Google Docs, type it out. Do not click share and type in my name. By far the easiest way is to go share and then advanced, then anyone with a link can view. That's the important part. You don't want to just type it and submit it, but the share, anyone with a link can view. That way I don't have all of your Google Docs inside of my Google Drive. That starts to get weird, and I don't need to be able to see it. And most of the time the default, if you just type my name in, is I can edit it, and you don't want me editing your pages. So this assignment is called Assignment 2, is an AT rubric. You're going to continue to slowly build out your Eportfolio. So there's a few different options. Really anything digital can work for this. I recommend either a Google Doc, because you can just link to anything, right? It's like super easy, or Google Slides. So as you go through, highly recommend doing this as time goes on. Don't wait till like week 6 and then realize that, oh, it's Friday of week 8 and it's due now. The idea is to add to this as time goes on, as the class goes on. So again, there's a Google Doc for your ePortfolio instructions, and it has 14 different sections that you're going to do. We're going to cover all of those week by week. So one thing that you should have that we're going to add to it in week 1 is evaluating technology tools, and then the thing you're going to add for this week for week 2 is looking at reading technology tools. Last week looked at writing technology tools, and then also from week 2 is the set model. So all of those, the idea of the ePortfolio is to include items and resources that you collect. So they can be, and I'm just reading straight from the Google Doc, right? Websites, videos, documents, articles, rubrics, assessment tools, etc. Actually, it says ETC period, but I just read that abbreviation. That was awesome. So the idea of it is to keep it going as time goes on, especially in the first couple of weeks when the assignments aren't as intense. Now's the time to really come up with your own system of what your ePortfolio is going to look like. So please get started on that. At the bottom of the week 2 page, assignment 4 continued. So there are 4 sessions or 4 sections. Can you tell it's been a long week? It has. I know it has for you too. There is an assistive tools inventory sheet, and you're going to look at 4 different tools. So week 1 was a writing tool, week 2 is a reading tool, week 3 is a math tool, and week 4 is a communication tool. All these different assistive technology tools, and then all 4 of these are going to go up and be submitted at the end of week 4. So continue working on that. I have a fun little trick for you. There is a link on the Google Doc that says, make a copy of the Google Doc. Feel free to use the template. Totally use the template. A trick to force a copy at the very, very top. It says docs.google.com/document/ then a whole bunch of characters, and it says /edit. Delete /edit and change it to /copy. And it'll say, do you want to make a copy of this? And you say yes. Super cool trick. So that is what week 2 looks like. A lot of it is the set model and just diving deeper into assistive technologies. So hopefully you have a good time with our discussion board. Let me know if you have any questions, and happy week 2.